if we not the podcast, then who is the podcast?
That's us.
It's Evergreen, baby.
Evergreen.
And we back. How y'all feeling today?
Man, I'm good. I'm great,
Feeling
man.
good?
I'm excited
man.
about the day.
Feeling
Good. I'm good.
You good? You is the podcast?
I'm good. I am the podcast.
I am the podcast.
I am the podcast.
I am the podcast, and I am SWAC.
We are the podcast. We are the podcast, man. We are the podcast, man. Glad to have our viewers tuning in again.
Yeah, man.
Before you do anything else, like we always say, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share it. The more likes, the more subscribers that we have, the more content that we can put out. And we put out dope content.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate everybody tuning in. TikTok, Instagram. Appreciate all of our followers.
Crazy.
Everybody. So appreciate that, man. We definitely thank y'all. So what's up, fellas?
Man, I see you with your DBF shirt on, man.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Shout out
did
to
it, huh?
Foundation.
Shout out Foundation, man.
Yeah,
Look,
man.
visit DarryBeckerFoundation.org.
Hey.
Yeah.
DarryBeckerFoundation.org.
Get it in, man.
Helping student athletes all around the area. So
Yes, sir.
let's get it.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
talk about that.
Man, hey, so I mean, we've all been, through various training camps and preseason work and everything like that. Like, I know myself personally, I've been in a couple of fights,
Little
scuffles that we had to get broken up by coaches and players and teammates and everything like that. I don't think I ever experienced nothing like what happened with Mr. Draymond Green of the Golden State Warriors and Jordan Poole.
Oh, they calling him Jordan? I thought it was sleepy time. Nap time. Night. See you later. On the other side. Going to yonder. Huh?
You want some more, man?
I'm going up beyond, going up beyond to be with my Lord.
He was out of there.
He was out of there.
It's kind of hard for anybody not to know, but if you haven't been under a rock for the last week and a half, Draymond Green and Jordan Poole got into a kerfuffle, I'd say, at practice. The preseason practice for the Golden State Warriors. It's been reported that Jordan Poole may have said some things to Draymond that Draymond, took badly, and he walked up on Jordan Poole as the video came out on TMZ, and he walked up on Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole shoved him. And Jordan Poole didn't know that the fight had started when he pushed him. So,
Jordan Poole started it.
Yeah. So
Jordan Poole
Lord.
started it.
All right, hold up. Let me finish the story. So when he pushed him, that was green light for Draymond, and Draymond apparently lives by the motto of strike first, because he pretty much put that man in a lifeless situation that he had to catch him before he hit the ground. Looking at the reaction of a lot of the people around the video, this didn't look like something very out of the ordinary to, most of the teammates and coaches that were standing around, because the reaction was not as fast as you thought for what it looked like. I'm hearing a lot of, their teammates saying that when the video came out was the first time they see it, because it happened so fast in practice they didn't even see it happen. Like they saw him catching him. They didn't see him. They didn't see what happened. So, I mean, what's y'all guys' thoughts on?
I would go first.
All right.
So, Draymond Green is known to have a temper, right? He's
Absolutely.
the enforcer on their team.
Absolutely.
Why are you messing with the enforcer? So you're saying stuff, provoking him. He don't like what you saying. He come by you and you push him, and then you back up like it's all good. That told me one thing about Jordan Poole. He ain't from the hood. It was no way you were supposed to let up airspace. Why you gave up that much airspace? This man got off a clean shot at you.
Space and opportunity, right?
Then you ain't got no chin. Jordan Poole has no chin, bro. Like, to say you're a professional athlete and you train every day, you can't take one punch. Not Draymond ain't going on him. I commit. Shout out to you, Draymond. I commend you for not going in and catching Jordan Poole like that, because you really could have done him dirty, and nobody would have even known.
I don't know, man. Jordan Poole from Milwaukee. Like,
What do you mean?
I'm not sure what part of Milwaukee, but Milwaukee got a hood.
everywhere got a hood. But Jordan Poole ain't from there. I'll tell you that.
Right.
Jordan Poole ain't nobody in his past ever been in the hood. Like, you know how, like, none of us stay in the hood now.
Right.
Let's get that clear.
Right.
But, the ones after us, they gonna still know hood tendencies. When somebody come up on you to chin check you, why did you let them chin check you?
Swing first.
It's okay to lose. Draymond's from the hood.
We'll handle the rest later. Swing first.
Right.
We'll sort it out later.
Ain't no
But even
getting bullied
I
around here.
respect half of what the Warriors did.
Okay.
Like, I feel as though the Warriors leaked it because they don't want to pay Draymond.
Ooh.
That's another thing to the situation.
Conspiracy theory.
I personally don't think he make their team better this year. Like he did. He really ain't make them better in the championship last year. Right? So this is their way from getting out of paying him that $30-40 million that he about to ask for. Because he gonna want a max. But I like what the coach said, that we had fights when I was with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan punished Steve Kerr one time, I think, huh?
Yes, he did.
So
And they ended up winning the championship that year.
So all I can say is I respect half of what they did. I respect everything that Draymond did, and I respect nothing Jordan Poole did. Night.
I'm gonna look at it in a different perspective. As far as like this was supposed to happen. I think this was the will of God for Jordan Poole to get knocked out.
Y'all thought I was bad. Y'all thought I was bad.
No, I'm serious. I really thought this was the will of God for Jordan Poole to get knocked out. I'm not going to quote the scripture exactly. But you know how they said, humble yourself before the mighty hands of God. Oh, he got humbled by some hands. But a lot of times, pride comes before the fall.
Oh, man.
And he fell.
You feel?
He fell. But for me, Jordan Poole needed this. The reason I think he needed this because when I watch Jordan Poole play basketball, and don't get me wrong, I do think he's a great basketball player. I think he's benefiting from a wonderful system.
Yeah, I don't think
don't
he's great.
Get me wrong.
I don't think he's great.
No, when I say great, I mean
I don't think he's great.
Like a good great at what he's supposed. Great is what he's supposed to do.
6 man.
6 man, do that. But he gives me the vibes that he really thinks that he's better than what he really is.
He thought more highly of himself than
he ought to think. That's what I think with Draymond. That's what I think what Jordan Poole is like. And I think this is going to humble him and put him back in his place because at times last year, I think when Steph Curry was hurt, he was scoring a lot of points. When Steph Curry came back, he was still trying to do the same things. Hey, man, you're not Steph. Understand who team is this. Understand who you playing with. And I don't think he got that concept.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine, like, Steve Kerr, coming down, pulling up from 30 when Jordan on the floor?
Nah.
And that's what Jordan Poole was still doing. And it almost hurt him in some ways in the playoffs a little bit. You can kind of tell he was still trying to play that same way when Steph Curry was not there. And so for me, I think this is a teaching moment for Jordan Poole to go look in the mirror and realize, let me play.
Can he see, though?
Yeah, he can see.
Oh, okay.
And that's another thing, too. I saw the preseason game. I didn't really see his eyes swollen at all.
So that was a fake picture?
I don't know if it was fake or not. But
I think that was a fake picture.
That was a fake picture because he played last night against the Lakers. He had no swelling. Yeah. So for me, basketball players in general never make contact. That's just in my opinion.
What you mean?
They never make contact
when they fighting.
No, never. Remember when Shaq swung on old boy?
Yeah,
that swung hard as he could. Never make contact.
Chris Childs connected.
Chris Childs.
Yeah, he did.
Chris Childs connected.
Rondo connected on Chris Paul too. I think
Rondo connected.
But that's some different dudes. That's some different dudes.
Nah. Hey, Steven Jackson was connecting.
Oh yeah.
Steven Jackson. Like shout out to Jack, man.
Yeah, it's true.
And obviously, Bobby Portis is connected with Mirotic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he pretty much ended that man NBA dreams. Like that man went back to Europe.
Yeah, he did.
He had that man.
I remember that.
He broke his orbital bone.
So there goes my argument. They do connect them for the majority of them. But anyway, I think
all the ones we named from the hood.
Yeah,
all true. The ones we named from the hood.
That's true.
So, really from the hood.
I think it was just a teaching and a humbling moment for Jordan Poole because we all need that in life in general. Like you all need that humbling moment where you realize, like, wait a minute, I'm not that good. Let me take a step back and realize what this really is. And for him, now I don't know how true the dialogue was in the argument I don't know who was listening.
Yeah,
and they were saying he was saying talking to Draymond about that's why you have a contract. I don't know how true that is, but if he was poking Draymond about not getting the big contract, one thing you always taught in a professional locker room: never instigate about another man's pockets.
Yeah,
that's something that you never do because you touching something deep in their soul when you start talking about another man's money. Yeah. So it was a teachable moment. It was the will of God, and God bless you, John Poole. Hope you learn from this situation.
How y'all feel about it actually leaking out? And where did the leak come from? Did they ever find out?
I agree with you.
I think there's an investigation that the Warriors said they started.
Because everybody have scuffles. It don't never get out. So they had to let it out. Somebody had to release this. And the way the angle was, it had to be somebody in them higher up offices. Like those offices was high up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. To me, the video looks like a video of a video. Like it looks like somebody was videoing the practice tape with their cell phone.
Okay.
Like that's what it looks like to me. Like it looks like a double. Like.
But how did that person get the practice tape?
I mean, anybody that got access to like the video room got.
But they shouldn't have never released that part of the practice though to the rest of the players if you ain't want it out. That's all I'm saying is you should have edited that. I understand they go right to their phone, they go right to their iPad, whatever, as soon as practice over. But y'all should, as a staff and the organization, y'all should have edited that part out.
Yeah, to me, I mean, TMZ gonna protect their sources, so they're not gonna tell the Warriors who sent the tape to them. So,
can I ask you this? When it happens, like TMZ gets a video, whoever gives them the video, do they get paid a lot of money to do that?
Yeah. They get paid. I mean, TMZ make an offer, and and they either accept or reject it, and try another news organization.
What if Jordan Poole released it because he don't want to play with Draymond no more? That he got slept.
What if Draymond releases so he could go to the Lakers?
I said that last season he was going to the Lakers.
I think if I get knocked out,
I ain't saying the Lakers. It's whoever Brian go. I think he's going whoever Brian.
I don't think if I get knocked out, I'm not releasing it.
You ain't releasing it?
No. I don't want nobody to see that. I don't know. I don't want to see another grown man knock me out.
Hey man, how you feel though? They said there was another loss for light skin.
I'm not light skin. I'm caramel.
Hey, there you have it.
So
it is.
We've had. I've had this argument with a lot of people
because that don't make sense to me anyway. How people be saying it?
What? Like, I'm not light skin. I'm caramel. This man a flavor. He a flavor. I am. Steph Curry is light skinned. Klay Thompson is light skinned. Aaron Judge, light skinned.
Jordan Poole,
light skinned.
They say Aaron Judge ain't like. Never mind. I don't want to go into that topic right now.
I'm caramel.
Yeah.
I'm like a mix between like dark chocolate, but
this boy is a Starbucks coffee out there.
I'm a mix between dark chocolate, but you throw some vanilla in it.
This boy Starbucks mix. Shout out to Starbucks, man, for sponsoring the pie, man. We love y'all, man.
But
mocha Dougie. Latte.
But real talk. What do y'all think about what Draymond was saying as far as in his interview, saying basically that the reason he reacted like that because he going through some stuff in his personal life,
and everybody going through something in their personal life.
Because that's why, honestly, look, this is the only thing that make me question it. I usually don't quit when athletes say that. I don't like when Tom said he had some shit going on. Obviously, he did.
He came up.
But I mean, Draymond just got married. Less than a month, 2 months ago. Mm-hmm.
So I hope that.
I hope that's not it. Like, you know what I'm saying? What we talking about here, bro? Like, you just tied a knot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You should be still in the honeymoon phase. Like everything should be, roses right now.
Are you connecting that to his? You think he's talking about his relationship? Or he said it was something dealing with his relationship?
No, what would be?
That's what I'm saying. Draymond, he was talking about his relationship with.
No, he didn't say it was his relationship.
He just said
connect the dots.
I'm just trying to connect the dots on what. I mean, if when you get married, I mean,
It's a joy.
It should be a joyous thing for at least a couple months. Like,
At least.
like most of the usual BS that you deal with, you kind of can put to the side because you just elated right now. You know what I'm saying? At least that's what I would think. I ain't never been married, so I can't answer them questions. I done seen people get married, and I done seen them happy. You know what I'm saying?
I answer it.
Yeah,
I'm still in the honeymoon phase years later.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Years later.
And so I mean, I'm just trying to say, like, something had to go really wrong that I don't think it's nothing in his marriage. I think, if it is something outside of his marriage, like, it has to be really bad if, you went to the point of saying this, unless you just, BSing your way through an interview.
Yeah, I think he was, because he from where he from, Flint or something, or Detroit. So their situation been bad out there.
Yeah.
Like, so, with the water crisis and all of that stuff like that. So I can't say that. But if he said it, they got to believe him. On here, we don't have to.
Yeah.
So I don't believe him. I just think he was throwing that out there just to cover it up.
Yeah.
Like, Draymond got a lot of money, man, tied to all of his everyday life. Like, and you can't really be out here like Devontae Adams doing craziness as soon as you get commercials and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
he from Saginaw, Michigan, which is still.
So he's out
I've
there.
heard some stuff about Saginaw.
Yeah.
They don't even sound.
Saginaw. I know.
Nope.
Probably ain't even got a dot on the city.
But like you said, Dante, even if he was going through something, can we really condone? Like, I understand why he did it, but it's like, if you are going through something, you really can't validate and make that as an excuse on why you swung with somebody either.
Yeah.
No, absolutely
Yeah.
not. And that's why he
just
being.
say I wanted to hit him.
Yeah, just
That's,
say,
right,
just
that's
say,
like,
just-
I don't believe it.
just
I
say,
don't believe none of that. Like, just
say
you
he
wanted
was
to hit him.
mouthing off and I hit him.
Yeah, and at the end of the story.
Cool. All right, bet. See you in a couple of days, Draymond.
That's it. Take the L because he took his. And then
Absolutely.
keep moving forward and go win a championship this year.
Right.
Like, it's not.
And honestly, like, bro, listen, like, fights happen all the time. I done had some young kids mouth off to me in high school when I was in high school, and I pretty much did the same thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? We got into it, and we got separated. But then after that, like, we ain't had no problems.
It's
like,
all good.
After that happened, we ain't got no problems.
Especially if they like. It's not about. That's what people don't realize. It's not about winning the fight, yo.
Yeah.
It's about fighting.
Right.
Like, it's about, do you got that dog in you? Do
Right.
you got enough heart to fight me back? Because when we go out here against these other teams, I want to know that you got my back just as much as I have your back. So Draymond knocked him out just to let him know, like, hey, man, I really care about you. Stop talking like that.
Man, it's
That's families type stuff.
yeah,
That's brothers like
it
stuff.
is.
That's what
It
brothers
is.
do, man.
Like we all play sports. So to us, when we watch this, we don't think it's that big of a deal. Like we really
I
don't.
really
'cause
don't.
We seen it all the time. I've seen.
Like, the only thing that made it worse is that the video got out.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the only thing that
Right,
made
right, right.
Like Steve Kerr said, it made it worse. Either way, it's not right. Like, the video getting out is not the main thing of this, but it did make it worse.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's still wrong. Like let's not.
Yeah, because
Like, Draymond is wrong.
Yeah.
and
that's the thing. We don't know what was said, though. We don't know what was said. So we can't say Draymond was
But
wrong.
for
Because the
some-
cat did push him first, though.
but for somebody who purports himself to be new media and is great at trash talking, as we've all heard him basically flame Paul Pierce on the court, like, while Paul Pierce, I wouldn't have blamed Paul Pierce for, like, running off the court and going try to square up on Draymond, like the stuff he was saying, so we've heard Draymond trash talk before. Right, we've heard Draymond has a podcast. He uses his words very well. He's being paid very handsomely to use his words very well. So, if somebody talking trash to you, then dog, you can talk back. You've proven that time and time again. Nah, he must have touched that button for real to have you swing on him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think Draymond went over there to tell him, look, dude, I will knock you out.
Yeah.
Dude pushed him. So,
Right.
hey, I can't say I'm going to knock you out and don't knock
not
you out
follow
now.
up.
Like, I got to knock you out.
and
Right.
follow up.
So, it's a big brother moment for him, man. And I hope Jordan Poole understand it and just take his loss like that. But to me, if I was Jordan Poole, me personally, we fighting every day till I win. Like, it ain't got nothing to do with that because it came out.
Right.
Like, it's because I thought you was clowning, so I pushed you off me, and then you knocked me out. Like, we got to fight every day till I win now.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you looking up to somebody as, like you saying, this big brother type stuff, like, do you even know that switch got hit? Like,
You probably don't.
me and my actual brother have fought. He didn't know, at least once, he didn't know that I was as mad as I was, right? So, and we got into a squabble, like, real talk. Like, so, like, but if you the protector of the team.
Yeah.
Like, you the protector of the team, like, like the cats that's older that rock with you, they understand, right? They understand, like Steph, Clay, like they know you because y'all done all came up together.
Yeah. They didn't seen you fight before.
Right. So, but I'm talking about, like, I'm looking at cats like Wiseman, like these younger cats.
Yeah, they don't know no better.
That ain't know no better, or like even like with oh my, what's that naphead boy name, man?
Man, going in on
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, it's like people ain't been in that. You haven't been in that culture.
Yeah, you haven't been in that.
You haven't been in a winning culture, right? You haven't been in a winning culture. Like, you still trying to.
And it's a generation gap. Also, I think that's what need to be talked about more with sports.
Yeah.
It's a generation gap where all of these young kids grew up on the internet. Like, Draymond and them ain't grew up on no internet.
They grew up on the street.
They grew up on the streets, like playing ball all day. Like, these new kids, they grew up on TikTok.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, they grew up on Instagram.
Right.
Like, they don't even know what Facebook is.
Right.
No, they don't.
So that's what I'm saying. So, like, who's the onus on then? Is the onus on the big brother to be like, hey, bro, you don't know it's real serious right now? Or is it on the little brother to be like,
great job, Draymond.
Yeah.
You know why great job, Draymond? This is going to make Jordan Poole better. And I'm going to give you an example why it's going to make Jordan Poole better. I always say this about Evergreen Pod, right? We all have different personalities. Dante gives you analytics. You're very schematic. You can break stuff down.
Yeah.
And I can bring you inside the locker room.
Come on with it.
So I'm going to tell you why it's going to make him better. So back in 2006, 7, I may be...
Story time with Doug.
I may be, whatever. It may have been 07. Maybe going into 07. Yeah, it was going into 07 because we... had 707 in the summertime.
Okay.
And so, cats took 707 serious. And so, so we started doing 707. And so a lot of guys that were freshmen that wasn't getting a lot of reps, sometimes they didn't take it that serious. Okay. So this particular freshman, which he don't mind me telling this story because he probably remembered. He was either a freshman or he was really young. Stephen Ridley was really young. So this particular day, 707, Stephen really decides to come out in his slippers, flip-flops, slides, whatever you want to call them. Everybody's got their cleats on, warming up, Keelan Williams, okay, shout out Keelan, where are your cleats? Hey, man, I'm paraphrasing. Hey, man, I don't need cleats. I'm not getting any reps anyway. Keelan says, that doesn't matter. We in this together. Hey, man, go get your cleats. I'm not going to get my cleats. Really said something back. Keelan said something back. Really said something again that touched Keelan in whatever kind of way. Next thing I know, I just see the flip-flops on top of Riley's chest because Riley's on the ground. 2-piece. Just that quick. Nobody said anything. Nobody broke anything up. But you know what?
Cleats was on next
that
time.
Made Stephen Ridley to who he was as one of was a great running back at LSU.
Played in the league.
Played in the league a long time. Was successful in the league. Has
couple of rings.
Had a few injuries, but they made Stephen Ridley who he was. So back to my point, I think for Jordan Poole, if he doesn't let it affect him in a way where it's always on social media, but learn from this situation. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at him, but seriously, learn from the situation. It can make him better,
Well, Bro, the crazy thing is we all in lost fights. Like anybody that tell you they ain't never lost a fight, they ain't really
Ain't
fighting
never been
nobody.
a fight.
Like we
Never
all
been
have
in a
lost
fight.
fights, bro.
Yeah, sure.
Like it's okay to lose.
Yeah.
Like long as you fight.
Yeah.
Like that's all that matter. That's the moral of the story, man.
Right.
You win some,
You lose,
you lose some, but you live. You live to fight another day.
That's it.
Shout out, Pops, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh man.
Steve Kerr got to get control though.
Yeah.
Steve Kerr got to get control. They got to get back on it, go ahead on and win again.
Yeah, that's true.
Poole,
I think it will.
Poole know your role.
No, you're wrong.
And it's not a trash talker.
No, it's not.
It's not trash talking.
No.
Yeah, man.
Well, speaking of trash talk,
I was going there too.
speaking of trash talk, the Alabama State Hornets took on the the Jackson State University Tigers for homecoming.
Yep.
They ended up losing the game, I believe, 26-13, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was the score.
Pretty good game too.
Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, and Eddie Robinson Jr., not son of that Eddie Robinson. Had a altercation or a mini altercation after the game, post game, in which Deion went in for the bro hug. For y'all that are watching that don't know what the bro hug is, right? You go in for dap, you pull in close, you wrap the arm around the back, 2 taps, and you done. Maybe you stand back, you look at each other in the eye, you say whatever you got to say. All right, coach, see you next time. Right? When they went in for the post game handshake, Deion was going in for the bro hug. Eddie Robinson Jr. obviously wasn't having that and gave him a chest check. So he put his hand in Deion's chest, said, "Nah, we not doing that. We just gonna shake, and I'm gonna go ahead about my business." Deion took exception to it. In the post game, and they had whatever words they had on the field, and separated and went their separate ways.
Yep.
And the post game, Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. Basically stated that, he's been disrespectful to my program all week. In the press, like nothing behind closed doors. Like he's been disrespectful out in the open in the press, and you're not going to. You didn't talk to me pregame. You were busy doing your pregame ritual, which is in his eyes was disrespectful, and walking around the entire stadium, and then walking through his offensive.
The way you said it.
That's what it
But the way you said it, he was like, in his eyes, he thought it was disrespectful because.
Well, I'm not giving my opinion. I'm saying.
The way you said he walked around the whole stadium.
All right, so he walked around the stadium, walked through, around his offense at the, in the end zone, and then proceeded to his sideline and never spoke to Eddie Robinson Jr.
He was waiting at the 50, right?
Right. He was on the 50 as coaches customarily do. They wait on the 50. They may shake or talk or just give a hey coach, good luck. Great job with the program so far this year. Looking forward to a good battle.
Shooting the breeze.
Like
Shooting the breeze a little bit.
Shoot us ask how the family doing, whatever. Shoot the BS. Sometimes they care, sometimes they don't. So Coach Prime, never one to not respond. Eddie Robinson Jr. also made the comment, he ain't SWAC.
He ain't SWAC.
Basically saying he's not of this conference. Like Eddie Robinson Jr. played in the conference, was great in the conference, went on to be a pro. Out of the SWAC, which is a rare occurrence. Just being totally honest. It's a rare occurrence, and so he's pretty much saying like, hey, I've went to college here, I've graduated, I've come back into the SWAC, and I am helping other young men in the SWAC. Now both are helping young men in the SWAC. So Coach Prime said, "Who is SWAC if I ain't SWAC?" You know what I'm saying? And the master troll man that he is, he comes out the next day. in a sweatshirt, a hoodie in his team meeting, which read "Who is SWAC?" on the front with a couple of question marks. On the back it said, "I am SWAC."
I am SWAC.
And I've also seen that Amazon Prime is doing a partnership apparently with Jackson State.
They've been doing it,
in which they're going to be coming out with this with some sort of documentary on the season. So, gentlemen, the floor is
a lot to unveil right there. It's a lot to unfold.
The floor is yours.
Doug, you want to go first on this one?
Honestly, I love it for the simple fact I love it for the SWAC, and I love it just for the culture of HBCU. Because at the end of the day, we all grew up in the HBCU culture. For people who's watching this, most of our families attended HBCU schools. You know, Will is a graduate of HBCU school. All my family went to Southern University. Some went to Grambling. My uncle is in the Black College Football Hall of Fame, played offensive guard at Southern University. So we grew up in that culture.
Yeah.
So going to the games as a youngster, seeing the band, seeing the atmosphere, and just the bravado of the players, the swag that they had, the confidence, the trash talk that they had, that's what made the SWAC. That's what made HBCU schools. And for a long period of time, they kind of lost that. Like it was lost. You know, it was like, you know, SWAC it wasn't fun to go to the games anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it was fun and exciting. And so what Dion and what Eddie Robinson Jr. is doing, but more so Prime is doing, but Eddie Robinson Jr. just happened to be there, a part of it, is that he's bringing that bravado, bringing that swag back, and bringing that cockiness back to what the SWAC was really about. Yeah. And so I have no issue with it. And I know you're going to touch on this as well. Nobody was wrong in this situation. And we all know who Deion Sanders is. Deion Sanders has been disrespectful his whole career. Like, you can call him disrespectful Deion in a good way. I tell people this all the time. He's the only person whose confidence and arrogance does not bother me. It's one of the craziest things on his confidence. Normally, someone like that would bother you, would bug you, but it's not. I saw he's on another podcast. He said, don't let my confidence mess up your insecurities. Yeah. And so I think he may rub some people wrong, but he doesn't rub me wrong. Like, I love it because if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have known who Eddie Robinson Jr. was. And for a lot of people across this country, besides us, and besides people who really know sports, they didn't know who Alabama State was. Yeah. But now they know who Alabama State is, and guess what? Next year, guess what game they're going to tune into?
It's going to be
this game. Prime. And then I'm looking at the highlights of this game. The stadium was packed. Like, it was packed. And so, look, people who watch this podcast, if you don't watch it, I suggest that everyone put on your bucket list. I would go to HBCU games. Specifically, I don't know too much about the MEAC and other conferences.
MEAC good, though.
It's really good. It's good. And
MEAC actually better than SWAC.
Yeah, because South Carolina State and Howard, all those teams. And
they about that.
And so, I don't know, SWAC coming along now with Florida and them joining.
They coming. Prime don't got to win it, though. Prime don't got to win when they play each other. True. They lost last year.
So, I don't see no issue with it. It's bringing the spotlight back on it. And they have well, I'm going to say this. SWAC and HBCU don't mess up this opportunity like you did in the 70s.
Man, that's big.
Don't mess it up. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's going to be, the Alabamas of the world, those type of programs, but you can get it to some type of level where it should be North Dakota
State. It should be North Dakota State.
Yeah, where they can. North Dakota State.
It should be programs like that.
Don't mess it up like you did in the 70s.
So my take on it is, my initial reaction was, man, Prime ain't SWAC. I'm SWAC because I'm SWAC, and I know the cat. I know Coach. So when Coach says that, I'm like, I got Coach back. Like, Coach really from the hood. Like, Coach really from the hood. He really from New Orleans. Like, Coach Robinson is really from New Orleans. Brother Martin grad. Like, he played in the Catholic League.
Right.
Like, so, and then he went to the SWAC. He had other opportunities to go other places, but he went to the SWAC just like my people, Jaluk, now. Right. They had other opportunities. They could have been at LSU.
Yep.
Yeah.
They chose to go to Southern.
All right.
So when we coming from these backgrounds where people are choosing to go there, like we feel a certain way about when somebody say, man, I'm SWAC. Because I chose to go to the SWAC too. And so then when I thought about it, I was like, people don't really know him like Doug say. I know he played in the NFL almost 11 years. Because he said it in his press conference also that I played against Dion in the NFL. Yeah. He had 800 tackles in the NFL. You know how hard it is to have 800 tackles in the NFL?
You know how hard is that one time in the NFL?
One.
Like, bruh. So this man really played. Like, he played. He started for like 9 years.
They call him Steady Eddie. That was his nickname.
Every play, he gonna be where he's supposed to be at. So when he says that, I'm like, man, Dion tripping, man. But I know already that they filming the documentary. So I know he disrespectful in what he do because I done been to the game. I done seen him walk around when they playing TSU. I done seen what he do at the stadium. So, but if you haven't been to the game, that's why we are telling everybody to go out to the game so y'all can see for yourself. It's nothing wrong with what he's doing if it's disrespectful, if you never address his disrespect. So if you feel like Dion has disrespected you in the pregame by not coming and talk to you, if you feel like Dion has disrespected you by walking through your offensive huddle while y'all getting ready for the game, if you feel like he's circling your whole stadium during homecoming, that's why it was packed.
Yeah.
If you feel like you should have addressed it before the game. Now I understood. He said one more thing. He said that he said everything. He listed 8 things that Dion did before the game that he didn't address. The one thing he said, they was up already. It was only 40-something seconds left. They run a hitch and go, trying to get the backup quarterback a touchdown. Now, that was another disrespectful. Now, I understand that, but you can address that when you do go in for the bro hug. Hey, man, why you want to go do a double move on me up by 2 touchdowns? Like, that's foul. I got you next year, though. And I better not catch you on the recruiting trail.
Oh, well, I mean,
that's how you supposed to really talk. That's how they really talk like that.
Right.
Like, this is coaching.
Yeah, he kind of addressed it in the next play because they didn't complete the pass.
Yeah, and he
blitzed the hell out of him.
He said we're gonna take him out and take his knees out, which he's supposed to do. That's football. This is a combat sport that we play as gladiators. So I was with him, but both of them one man. Coach Prime was wrong. Coach was wrong. Coach Prime was right. Coach Robinson was right also. Let's just, like Doug say, capitalize off of this, man. Keep watching it on Prime. Prime gonna be on Prime, and then the Prime versus Alabama State game next year gonna be on Prime if he stays. But I don't think Coach staying though. Like I
don't know, Will. For me, I feel like he's in a situation right now where he can really, this can solidify him beyond his football playing days, where I think this really will cement his legacy. This really will cement who he is. Because obviously we think about Primetime as the best cornerback ever. That's what we think about. But if he really does what he's in his mind set out to do, look, we all men. Like, we all leaders in some type of capacity. We all alphas in some type of capacity. And we're prideful. Yeah. And we'll be sitting lying to you if we say, hey, man, if we accomplish this is going to really look good on my resume. Yeah. And so I think in his mind, if he really – I think he has a plan and what he wants to do. I know you mentioned this about possibly getting to, like, the North Dakota state level and maybe getting to, like, the FCS, the FCS playoffs, and if they can win something like that, I think that's what he wants to get into. I know he mentioned about joining, like, a Power 5 conference. Let's see if that happens, because if he does do something like that, well, that's big. And I don't know how successful Dion would be at a Power 5 school.
I agree with you on that. It got to be the certain school. Yeah. But all of this talk about on other podcasts talking about Jackson State need to be in the Power 5. Come on, bro, stop it. They need to be in the Sun Belt before they're in the Power 5. Like, real talk. Yeah. Like they subdivision. They might need to play in the conference, the Southland Conference with Nickel State and Southeastern and Northwest. It's different levels to this stuff, man. So we gotta get off that bigger picture mindset and dominate where we at. And that's why I keep coming back to win the championship this year. Y'all ain't win it last year.
True.
That's true.
Like, y'all lost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all of this publicity and all this good, but you ain't won it all. You ain't won no ship, yo. So, win the ship this year, where he's going to go from there.
Right.
Because that school cannot, no matter what the funding, it's still a division. It's a lower level funding.
Right.
Like, it's not on a level of an Ole Miss funding or Mississippi State. They ain't stealing money like USM. Like,
That's true.
real talk.
That's
Like I ain't even joking no more.
Right.
No, not
Like,
at all.
you know what I'm saying? Like, they not. It's because it's different tiers, it's different levels. So Jackson State can never be where
Right.
that's at.
Right.
It was never built to be that.
Right.
Like you see, we all talk. Like we built to be men.
Right.
Like you can't be no woman if you no man.
Right.
Like that's real talk.
Right.
Like so you where the
true.
change gonna come at?
Right,
the
right.
change gonna have to come with him elevating and then moving on. I think he'll do great at Georgia Tech. I know me and Dante was talking about that in a group text about the academic stuff like that, which was a great point. Auburn, Nebraska. Ain't nobody going to Nebraska, so you might as well get Prime because he gonna get people there.
Yeah. I know Auburn right down the street from Atlanta. So that's a
I went
Now,
some-
see, that's where now if they can ever get Harsin out of there, I don't know what they waiting on.
He got 9 lives.
He
He got 9 lives, bro.
I think it must be a lot like whatever Scott Frost had in his contract, where it would have cost Nebraska $7 million less to get rid of him if they would have waited maybe 2 more weeks, I believe.
And they didn't wait.
I think 2 days. I think October 10th was like the date.
Yeah,
and
they didn't wait.
and they didn't wait that long
Shout
to
out to
fire
Mickey,
him.
man.
Is
Mickey over
is
there.
Auburn ready for Prime?
Yeah. They gonna
No.
keep getting their head bashed in by
Like
Alabama.
are they? I mean, like
You talking about the culture of Auburn?
Yes.
No.
This not like okay. We had was it Rob Franklin at Vanderbilt? Okay, and what's the other guy?
oh yeah.
At
Shoot.
You talking about that Mississippi State?
Mississippi
No.
State.
At Vanderbilt, the other coach they had, they played so hard, but they just never
Yeah.
could win.
Yeah, he defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
Yeah. I can't
yeah.
think his name.
We don't
bro.
even remember.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Dang,
that's
Will,
bad. That's
that's-
bad, man.
No, that's
That's bad, man. That's bad, bro.
I just remember him when they won the game. He was riding the horse.
Yeah.
See, foolish.
They play hard though. They play really hard.
They always play
They
hard. They
did.
smart.
They play hard.
Yeah, but
They smart. They gonna
But,
play hard.
but is Auburn ready for Prime?
They have to be. Like, or you're never gonna have consistency.
Right.
Like these schools that I just named, the Nebraskas, the Georgia Techs, the Auburns, the Arizona States, like what they about to go through. Like you naming all of these schools, and they need that. They need. So I watch a bunch of podcasts. I listen to them all day while I'm working. So Prime said in one of the podcasts that they have no recruiting budget, and he's still getting cats.
That's true.
He said his recruiting budget is social media. However much they put in the ads that they run on social media, that's their recruiting budget.
All right.
They can't fly around and do what everybody else doing. So every day, that's why they document every day and they put certain stuff out every day. That's why he put out like 5 different videos every day.
Right.
That's their social media. They hoping one kid see at least one of the 5 videos that they put out every day.
Right. You know, the crazy thing about it, and we talk about going against the grain. That's one thing I do love about Deion. It's a trailblazer in a sense. Everything is on the phone.
Everything on the phone.
His son runs it, and so his son has a cell phone, and so it's so organic and it's so intimate in a way that it's not like normal recruiting pitches. Like if you go to these big schools, it's a highlight tape, all well organized. But this is raw,
Real life.
unfiltered,
Real
like
life.
real life, bro.
Real life.
And that's
talking
what-
about I ain't giving you no money to go shopping, all kind of stuff. They talking about you need a haircut. They talking about regular life stuff.
That's real stuff that happens.
That's real stuff. And that's inside the locker
That's
room.
reality.
Yeah, and that's what they not getting. Then he posting about how what I do love about Prime too is that he knows that he's an anomaly, but when he's helping he helps other people. So he has a trainer that she should have the job because she's qualified, but she's a white female trainer. So she's a minority. So he's not only the minority in coaching, he's giving other minorities jobs.
Right.
So like that's so dope, man. Like we need that in
Right.
these big schools.
That's true.
Like we already got that in the SWAC.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna change lives and change people, he has to get to a big school.
Yeah.
Because everybody not going to the SWAC, no matter what. Like, so I'm gonna give you my family.
Right.
I'm SWAC. My wife went to La Tech. But her grandparents went to SWAC.
Yeah.
Her dad went to SWAC.
Right.
Her mom went to Northwestern. So as them generations go, less and less people are gonna go SWAC.
Right.
So we need more and more people like Prime at these bigger schools where everybody going anyway. Because we got all the coaches in SWAC, Black.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I think all of them Black.
Yeah.
Except for the ones on Prime staff.
Yeah.
The assistants on Prime staff not Black. All of them.
No, they're not.
All right.
So
yeah, I like you said, especially given what some of the former Auburn head coaches are in the news for this week. You know, whether their culture is ready for it or not, they are ready to win.
Yeah.
So, and if they think Prime is the best, best choice to help them win, they'll swallow whatever outside stuff is there to win.
That's true.
Affleck will have a great campaign during the Iron Bowl.
Oh man, all year, Iron Bowl all year.
That's a lot of money on the line. So as far as I think Prime can talk any mother into sending their son to play wherever he wants to coach. Only reason, like I said, I disagree with about. I agree that Atlanta is a hotbed for recruiting. I agree that Georgia Tech is dead center in the middle of Atlanta, and like for those of you who have never been to Atlanta, Georgia, it is literally in the middle of the city of Atlanta.
It's clean too. It's dope.
All I'm saying is the academic standards for some of the recruits that you're going to be going after, you're going to either have to talk them down, which no matter, I don't know. I'm assuming, Prime ain't the first coach that been like, man, Georgia is a hotbed. Georgia Tech sitting right there, a Power 5 school that's right in the middle of Atlanta, man. If I can get some of these cats, some of these cats that instead of going to Clemson to come to Georgia Tech, that's what Clemson did. Clemson said, hey, we right up the road.
Yeah.
Atlanta. I'm thinking like Doug said, like, Auburn is not that far from Atlanta. Like it's on the west, it's on the east coast of east side of Alabama. It's not that far from not that far of a drive from Atlanta. I think Auburn would be a great opportunity if he wants to go there.
That's true.
Because now these coaches, because of the transfer portal, even though I've seen some things today that they're trying to wrangle in the transfer portal, but because of the transfer portal and you get the one-time transfer, especially if the head coach leaves, you get a free transfer. You don't even have to, like, he can come with the entire roster, like he can come, with the roster full. He can come with Shador. He can come with everybody. He come with everybody. He come with Travis. He come with all these cats.
Yeah, good.
Like day one.
And none of the cats at Auburn gonna leave.
No,
because they don't want to play for Prime.
Exactly. So
unless you're a quarterback,
right?
And the quarterback's on.
Right.
I gotta go.
Right. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see if he decides to stay, depending on how the rest of the season finishes, and what
That's why this must see TV. This is must see TV with Amazon Prime and what Coach them doing, and on all his social media. So go follow him, man. Check him out. See what they doing. See how the players are actually training every day. The facilities are getting better.
A lot better.
The school are loving them. Even the school fought them on some of the uniform changes for a little while, but then they released everything. So he got full control right now, man. So it's looking up for him. It's looking up for the SWAC, man. I'm loving it. Alabama State on the up. New coach doing this thing. Got headlines for the wrong reasons, but he rectified them and he understand it. And now everybody still got to get back to football. Like at the end of the day, all this talking, none of this stuff don't matter. You got to get back to football because Saturday is coming.
Right.
So win your next game. That's all that matters, so y'all can see each other.
So we're
again.
saying Prime to Auburn. The more I'm listening, no, are we saying Prime to Auburn?
It's a good fit.
The more y'all talk about it, the more you talk about it, the more I'm getting convinced.
It's a really good fit.
Because Auburn, honestly, the atmosphere to play at Auburn is incredible.
Yes, it is.
Like
I've been there. I've been there for a game where my brother was playing for Louisiana Tech, and it is loud in that
It's
stadium.
one of the best venues to be at for college football.
Something low key that a lot of people don't pay attention to. Where the shoe sponsorships come from. Deion has always been with Under Armour. Isn't Auburn Under Armour?
Auburn already is Under Armour.
They already Under Armour. Right. So you got to watch some of them back channel deals on the right way. You know what I'm saying? And so just to see that he is an Under Armour coach, so he might end up at an Under Armour school. Let's go, man. I'll be excited, man. I'll be excited. I'll be in Tiger Stadium next year watching Coach Prime and Auburn.
Speaking of Tiger Stadium.
It's Tiger Stadium.
It is week 6, so
we said we weren't talking about it.
Our self-imposed ban on talking about the school up the road is over. Through 6 games, the Tigers are
4-2. What they are 4-2?
Yeah,
they lost 2.
Yeah,
they won 4-2.
They played 6 games already.
Season halfway over.
Ooh.
Already October 12th.
So
mid-season report card on the local team.
So you want to take offense or defense, Doug? I'm gonna let you take the D.
Yeah,
and I'll take the offense.
I'll take special teams.
Ooh. I'll take defense.
I give you a special teams grade right now. D.
Good. A D grade?
It's like you.
I ain't gotta think about it. You miss field goals that would tie a game. You drop punts. You drop kickoffs. You've muffed kickoffs that was opening kickoffs. Yeah,
game changers.
Absolute game.
I'm surprised you gave him a D.
You're generous.
Because I wouldn't have gave him no D. I would have said an F plus.
I wouldn't have. Just some of that stuff is unacceptable. Just like the extra point. The step down first on the wing and block out.
It's been every game.
It's
been every game but Southern.
You learned that in middle school.
It's been every game but Southern. I'm just saying, man. Jigga City class, the only game special teams they do terrible in.
They did, yeah.
That's it.
So, yeah.
Kicker can't, he out kicking the coverage. The other cat can't put it in the end zone.
I forgot they had a kickoff return too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what?
They had touchdowns called back.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. Might have to be an F. Yeah, might have to give special teams an F.
Wait.
All right. You're gonna talk about offense. I'm talking about defense, but on special teams.
Special teams so bad. I think we also talk special teams.
All right. Yeah, special teams, man. All right. So special teams is a want to. Like
yes,
you have to want to be on special teams.
Yes, it is.
And people. And players do take special teams serious,
right? Because
a lot of times this is the only time they have a chance to be on the field. And they have had great players that came to LSU made their name on special teams, and they were serious about it.
Dog, I still remember Fournette hitting somebody on special teams.
I remember Jarvis Landry.
Yeah,
decapitating the Auburn dude.
Right.
They took it. There's Duke Riley, Deion Jones,
yes.
Everybody.
Tyrann Mathieu.
Played
every special teams.
Yes.
Took it serious. So
Brandon Taylor we had on.
He was his special teams. That's what I'm saying. So everybody, Craig Stills, Jacob Hester, like all these dudes took pride. Kelvin Shepard special teams. They took special teams. I mean, Ollie Highsmith was on punt team, like these All-American linebackers.
This dude naming pro after pro.
So the thing about it is this. So I'm gonna let Will talk about the offense. I have to say one more thing about the special teams. As a player who's ever over you and who's ever coaching you, if they are not bought in and don't respect the coach, they are not going to have their hair on fire running down on kickoffs, running down on punts, wherever their job is. Blocking. They're not, because special teams is about guts, and that's it.
That's it.
But if you feel like that your special teams coach doesn't have that same those teams' guts because your special teams coach has to be kind of crazy.
Absolutely.
He has to be thrown off.
Absolutely.
And Poland doesn't give me that type of vibe where he's like I'm with it. Like
he's front office.
Yeah,
he's from front office.
He's from front office.
Like I'm about that life.
That's how he coaches.
Like your special teams coach, every special teams coach I know
been like a strength conditioning coach.
Something wrong with him.
Yeah, they kind of like a strength conditioning coach.
Like something really wrong with them.
They're really ticky. Like.
They ticky, and so that's our thing. And so they're breeding his personality, whether they know it or not. Whatever personality he's given, they're taking on that personality.
So,
you can't have that for special teams.
So I'm gonna hit on special teams real quick. There's reports out, and some media people brought it up that the special team coach plays the worst music they ever heard in their lifetime. So if you was a player, and your special teams coach is playing rock and roll, and you from the South, and you grew up in the hood,
You're in the wrong spot.
the coach in the wrong spot.
Coach in the wrong spot.
Not the player, because the player's at LSU.
No, the player
coach is the one who got hired.
recruited.
The coach got hired.
Yes, the coach got hired. I got recruited.
And then I see something online where he's like the 6th ranked highest paid special teams coach in the country. The first year, he's the 6th ranked highest paid special teams coach in the country. He's playing the wrong music. He doesn't have anybody lined up. Cats don't even know how to run. Like, it's a saying that we teach our park ball kids on kickoff for our 6 and 7-year-olds. We put out the cones and we tell them, stay in your lane. Run down, but stay in your lane. So we put the cones like 20 yards out because they ain't kicking that far.
Nope.
But you can't break from your lane until you pass the cone. That's how we teach them on kickoff.
Yep.
But when you look at the all 22 on ESPN, they bumbled up. They're in the middle of the field. One cat get blocked.
Like
Kicker got to make the tackle.
Like kindergarten is playing soccer.
Man, it's no energy. It's no energy at all.
Then the second part about that, when you look at any top team in America, BK, go look at Alabama. BK, go look at Texas A&M. BK, go look at Texas. BK, go look at Clemson. Go look at Ohio State. They do not have special teams coordinators. None of them. Georgia does not have a special teams coordinator. They have 5 coaches on offense and 5 coaches on defense. And the analyst coaches the special teams. So get with the program because you're not up north no more. You're in the SEC. So get like all the rest of the SEC schools.
I don't think the rest of this report going to go much better. Well, go ahead. Who's next?
Oh, man. So it's me now.
Yeah, you're on the offensive side.
So the offense. So with our park ball teams, we try to build kids up and teach them the skill level to go and play in high school, junior high and high school, because we want them all to play junior high first, right? So if we got, let's say any average year, we got 82 kids in the youth program, right? Each year, our coaching staff goes and buys a program to learn to implement on the offensive side for the kids so we could find 1 or 2 plays. So each coaching staff at LSU this year, they had the coaches, you can buy the actual program
Right.
that the offensive coordinator is teaching.
Right.
The program was so bad, we couldn't implement it into our 7 and 8-year-old program. Nah, y'all laughing, bro. I'm serious, bro. Like, I'm serious, bro. Like, all jokes aside, like,
Just drop back and run.
it's like the switch plays that they run are so outdated. It was my reason for not wanting him as the offensive coordinator because when I went back and watched the Cincinnati film, anytime he played against a speed defense, none of the plays worked. It's because you're trying to switch everything based off the tight end. It's not gonna work in the SEC. It doesn't work in park ball. It doesn't work in junior high. It doesn't work in high school, and it's not gonna work in college.
Like it works against a defense that doesn't have the athletes that can go one man up.
But everybody has that here.
And everybody in the SEC can go man up.
So the philosophy is the wrong
Except
philosophy.
LSU.
Yeah. So the coach is not a bad coach. Denbrock is not a bad coach. Like he's calling great plays. I give him credit. He's calling great plays, but they can't be executed.
So I was, and that's what like this last game I'm watching. I'm like I'm looking at a couple of these passes. Like they're not that far off.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's a timing issue with the receiver. I don't know if it was just an inaccurate pass with the quarterback. Because once they made the change and put them young cats on the offensive line, you at least got time. Mm-hmm. Like I haven't seen him,
And let's be clear right here too. Neither one of them dudes are offensive tackle.
No.
They're both guards.
No.
So next year, make sure y'all put them dudes at their right position so they can succeed in the NFL. Yeah. They're both guards.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think they playing out of necessity.
Yeah,
that's cool for this year.
Yeah, for this year.
That's cool for this year. But Tennessee in their second year.
Yeah.
So next year, you better be doing what Tennessee doing.
I think,
Yeah.
Use the system like Tennessee used. Put 2 wide receivers on each side, outside of the numbers. Count the box. That's what we teach our 9-year-olds to count the box.
Mm-hmm.
Why y'all got 22, 23-year-olds that can't count the box?
So, I guess my question is, like, why don't we have a running game right now?
Yeah.
I mean, I know Emery was out. John Emery was out for the first couple of games because he was still on suspension. Mm-hmm. Right. So that he is the top running back.
They don't have an identity.
Right.
That's why they don't have. You never have a run game when you don't have an identity. Mm-hmm. When you haven't instilled that physicality from day one.
Right.
When y'all trying to mix the pod and see what's going on. When you got 4 quarterbacks and you promised one he was going to start. Now he out here just tailgating and making commercials. Just real talk. Then the other guy, shout out Miles Brennan, man. So they asked that man to come back. That man was going with his life, transferring out. Mm-hmm. They begged him to come back. Not a man just doing commercials, going to the game, sitting in the stands.
Yeah,
when it looks like you need a pocket passer to complete the plays. That's why everything's a tick off, because schematically wise, they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
What run play have you seen LSU succeed over 6 yards this year against a real team, not against Southern, not a real team?
There nobody would run. That was in Mississippi State.
But that was all him. That was all John Emery.
Okay.
I think it's Auburn. He didn't make that run.
Auburn.
He threw one dude off from behind the line of scrimmage, broke another tackle at the line of scrimmage, and outran 2 dudes. That ain't coaching. That's his mom and daddy and God.
I think I believe the young walk-on. I think he had one against Mississippi
That's another
State,
thing.
right?
Why we got a walk-on starting at running back at LSU? Frank Wilson, you my guy, bro. So I'm gonna say I ain't gonna do it. Yeah. You my guy, Frank.
We'll just wait till next year.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
the offense is bad. It's schematically bad. It doesn't have any identity. And Keyshawn Boutte still a little hurt. So
I agree.
Everybody,
I agree.
He's not saying it, but he's
I agree.
You
don't come back from a Achilles heel. You don't come back from that junk like that's gonna take a year and a half to heal.
Man, and that man was supposed to go to USC or Alabama, bro. The man should have took the money, bro. Like, I get it, we all live in Louisiana, but somebody got to be a man and tell that dude, hey, dog, go. Go to USC, play second fiddle to old boy, but you're going to still have 70 catches in that offense. You're going to have more catches than all the wide receivers combined at LSU. And then we tried to tell them this beforehand when they hired Brian Kelly. We told them the offense not going to be for wide receivers.
Offense about to
People
change.
say, well, why are you paying them $100 million? They paid him $100 million to clean up what was going on before.
Les Miles. Yes, that's the Les Miles tax.
So that's my take on it.
That's the Les Miles Coach O tax.
Special teams, the offense, now we're now on the defense.
Oh, boy.
So we got special teams, got a grade of D.
F.
I
downgraded them.
You downgraded F.
I forgot about the punt returns.
I would say offense C-.
Okay.
C-.
All right.
Because your boy still can run. He still run till he get knocked out.
Yeah, he can. So
C-.
C-. Okay. So we got F, we got a C-. So we
got D.
Flirting a low D right now.
Yeah, flirting low D. I mean, I think as far as LSU's defense, I think out of all 3 phases, they have been the best unit, all 3 phases.
Correct.
And the reason I say that is the fact that they have made adjustments. And I do like the fact that they run multiple things in the sense where they do mix it up in a sense. Like, depending on each game, they mix up their alignment, they mix up their fronts, and they do different things. Moving Greg Brooks to safety and bringing Jay Ward down a nickel was a big move. I think Jay Ward is a dog. We need more of Jay Wards. He's just out there. Like he's a dog. Greg Brooks is a solid player, solid tackler. And as far as the secondary as a whole, they don't have like nobody's is going to be like a first round draft pick like the LSU had in the past. I think
they had one, but he got hurt in their first game.
Which one?
Mason Smith.
No, I'm talking secondary.
Secondary. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think they have no first round draft picks.
No.
I think they can play in the NFL. I think as a unit, collectively they play well together just because a lot of them have game experience because they're older as well. So I guess the positive side of it is that they do play hard and they have kept LSU in games. They've actually won games for LSU just because of how well they played on defense, point blank. The defense won an Auburn game, point blank. And then Mississippi State, they made key stops. Even though Mississippi State did drop some passes, the defense, I was surprised on how well they played against Mississippi State.
Wide open offense.
The simple fact that I thought against Mississippi State, I was like, man, make sure we drop 8, keep everything in front. Matt House decided, no, we're going to blitz, which, we go back to Pelini first year. He decided he wanted to blitz. Didn't work. But anyway, so I didn't think against the offense that it wouldn't work, but it did. So that's the positive side of it, that those guys do play hard and they kept them in games. If I want to critique them, and the negative side of it, I do think they still need some personnel changes as far on defense to maybe take that next level. Look, now we all talked about the linebacker position as a whole, and I know they had Mike Jones starting at the beginning of the year. But naturally, Mike Jones is not your typical inside Mike linebacker. He's an edge player, and it's hard to – people don't realize how – people think sometimes playing linebacker, if you fast, you just run around and make plays. It's not that simple. It's not high school. Like high school, if you're bigger and faster than everybody else, you're going to make every play. In college, it's not going to be like that because you got to read and be able to diagnose. Your peripheral vision has to be – you have to have, to play that inside linebacker position, to be really good, it's a gift to be able to, look this direction, this tackle, but see this side of the counter coming their way. Like you have to have. I really truly think that is a gift. You have to have natural instincts, and that's something that he doesn't have to play that position. So I don't want to get people get it twisted. He doesn't have the ability to play that position. But I do think he could be a great edge rusher. Okay,
and he a good dude,
and he a great dude.
Like a lot of,
and he gonna play hard for you.
A lot of it is like you're saying, the ability to run sideline is one thing, right? But in some cases, don't ask you to run, dog. Sometimes you got to go take that lineman on to hold to make sure that gap don't get that you got gap integrity right there. Like I was watching Alabama and Arkansas. They have a decent middle linebacker. I think he's either 4th or 5th year senior. 2 times he overran the hole, and that was it. That's all it took.
Right.
Because Alabama got them type of running backs right now. You overrun that hole if you want.
Yeah.
Dog, that's a house call.
Right up the band.
Sometimes you got to stick your nose in there. You got to hold that gap, so somebody else can make a play. You know what I'm saying? So, being able to run is one thing, but being number one smart enough to know where you're supposed to be, tape wise, everything like that. But sometimes you just gotta get in that dirt, dog. Yeah. It ain't about just the running part right now.
So when I see him on D, I think they flying around.
Yeah,
they doing everything they being coached to be. Like they got great coaching on D. I told the opposite of the other 2 parts of it. But I want people to understand too. Like my prediction for LSU before the season, Doug, what it was 6-6.
6-6. He said 75.
75 is a great coaching job.
Right.
6-6 is what I expect of them. Like if they exceed that, that's great news for everybody around because we want to see them coached the right way. We want to see the system being implemented and being executed so they can keep building. That's what it's all about. This is about a building year. This is not – so even if I'm knocking you because I want you to do great. Like I'm not knocking you because I'm just Stephen A. Smith. I'm knocking you because I see the potential in the players from the state of Louisiana and the facilities and the backing that they have. So that's why I love what Coach House doing on defense. He's really executing. He got a game plan for practice. He got a game plan for the games, and even he coming out with a different game plan in the second half and making his adjustments. So we can just get that continuity all the way around. I think they'll be on to something next year.
Yeah, next year. And I think they have to learn. I think any new coaching staff, when you come from a whole different part of the country, and obviously I can say a different conference, but Notre Dame was never in a conference. It's going to take time to adjust to a situation. Like we all been in a situation where you was a new kid at school, and so it took you a while to adapt. So I think for Brian Kelly in general, it's going to take time for him to adapt. So when Les Miles got hired, Les Miles, I don't know, Les Miles had literally, I think the hand of God literally came down and just touched Les Miles. Like I'm not joking because I've never seen, like, I'm pretty sure they have had college coaches inherit a great program. When I say this dude inherited, like, the best situation that you can possibly have, he inherited it. Yeah. So it was like, man, I would have to mess this up. Like I would, which obviously
we ain't coaching.
He ain't coaching no more. Right. He did, but Les won a lot of games. Yeah,
in the championship.
In the championship, with the two.
Yeah, with the
two,
and won 2 SEC titles.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And one time, Les was averaging 11 wins, like.
Putting a lot of kids in the league.
05, 06, 07, 11 wins, partner.
They ain't taking on them flags just because they fired you.
Yeah. So they up there permanently.
They up there.
So I think with Brian Kelly, the culture, and I think him and the AD, and not even just AD, that's the whole LSU administrative team and department had a discussion about this first year. So for me, when I look at Brian Kelly, yes, he wants to win. And somebody said the other day they were talking to me, man, he looks stressed. I don't really think he looks stressed because they had that conversation this first year. Make sure you change the culture. Make sure, like you said, clean everything up.
I think the only thing he's stressing about is the guys he brought with him, his friends, are the ones who doing the worst coaching job that we spoke of.
Right.
I think that's what's stressing him a little bit because
the ones that he hired are the ones that are keeping this junk together.
Because we know Louisiana and we know LSU. If they don't have it together by the end of the season, they out of here. They on the first thing smoking.
They are.
We don't care how long you've been friends with them because we had a similar situation with Les Miles. We had similar situations with Coach O hiring their friends.
That's true.
You out of here, man. We'll give you a shot. Yeah, we'll let you hire who you want right now. But after that, you on our dime, we gonna set up the candidates for you to interview.
And they got to learn to
coaching search.
And that's one thing Les Miles had a problem with as well. He's going to have to learn how to manage and evaluate talent.
Yes.
Because at Notre Dame and when he was at Cincinnati and Western Michigan, he's never had that talent. Whoever his starters were at Notre Dame, he knew, look, you the starters. The backups were the backups for a reason at Notre Dame. You come to LSU,
everything looked the same.
It's a thin line between the starter and the second string.
And you can't be in your feelings.
You can't.
You can't be in your feelings because there's no reason Michael Baskerville shouldn't have been starting since Florida State.
Yeah,
I know.
Like we can't put that. That also go to evaluations and knowing your personnel. You got to know these cats on and off the field. So you got to know their personality, so you don't rub them the wrong way. So they not giving you they all.
Right.
You gotta know. But not past that, you got to know your personnel as far as like who these players like we was talking about with Draymond, like who these other players respect.
Yeah.
And like you might, even if you don't know the difference, the players know. Players know who should be out there. You know what I'm saying? Like know this on the young man because I don't even remember his name now. But when y'all played Arkansas, like. Every time they pulled you off the field, McFadden was gone. House. Like, it happened 3 times, dog. And I'm like, why do they keep pulling him off the field? Every time they put that cat out there for you.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I'm not.
No. He a great dude, too.
Yeah, he is. Honestly, that particular game, I was limited in snaps. And so the game plan was when they go Wildcat, I'm coming out in Wildcat.
Yeah.
No. That was a bad game plan.
Because
Wildcat.
Because they didn't come out in Wildcat. And eventually they went to it, and so like, okay, well, you gonna come out.
Felix was on the field too, right?
Yes, he was.
Felix, him, and
Felix Jones,
passing down,
Peyton Hillis,
Peyton Hillis,
passing downs when he should have came out.
Yeah.
No. Like we put
they ain't throw the ball though.
Passing downs is when he should have came out. Like I said,
they ain't throw the ball, man. But
limited snaps.
So yeah, like you know what I'm saying. Like players know who should be out there.
Yeah.
Like you're saying, like basketball. Like players know who should be out there.
Mm-hmm. It does something for the team, man. So I just think he has to. He will. You gonna learn. You gonna either roll with it or get rolled over. So I think he's gonna learn because look, if I come from a situation like Notre Dame and wherever, and you see this amount of talent, it's I ain't gonna lie, it's hard. Like man, well, who the heck do I play? Like, but hey, this is what you get paid the big bucks for. You have to figure it out.
And the thing is in the SEC, you don't have the chance to play players to see who you want to play in big games because every game's a big game. He had that luxury at Notre Dame.
Preseason.
He had that luxury at Notre Dame. You can't figure it out during the season in the SEC.
No,
it's too late.
It's too late.
It's too late to figure out that your offense don't work. It's too late to figure out your special teams don't work. It's too late to figure out I can't blitz when it's 3rd and 12. It's too late.
Yeah, it's true.
The game's over. It's one because like he said this week, and I applaud him for that. BK said everybody in this league got talent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Right.
We've noticed this.
Good job, Sherlock.
But he don't know. He don't know because he been at Notre Dame. Like when you outside of the SEC, all you think of is LSU, Florida, Georgia, Bama, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But when you in the league, you realize
Ole Miss
has got some
Missouri.
dogs.
Missouri just took Georgia to
the wire. It should have beat them.
Right.
Like and you realize Mississippi State got a unique offense. I got to prepare for this in 4 days and have this walkthrough ready. Like you realize, man, every week like this. Then I got to play a cross rival. Then I putting Florida State on the schedule when they got a week 0 game and I got to practice. Like it's a lot going on to be in the SEC.
I think people always ask like from the player's perspective, like they don't realize it. The coaches are always under duress and always under stress every single week. For players, honestly, we don't realize it until you sit back and appreciate it. Like after you done like years later, right?
Yeah.
Like dang, like it was a gauntlet, but you don't realize it at the time.
Yeah.
Like they're not thinking about we just played Tennessee, now we go to the swamp. They really ain't thinking about that.
But they used to it.
Yeah.
But this coaching staff not.
I know.
So that's the big key. Like how can they adjust? And LSU actually caught a break this year because they don't go to Bama this year.
No, they don't.
Like so you ain't going to Georgia.
But one thing I like about this group, they care.
Yeah.
The players, they care.
Yeah.
They had another team meeting.
Nah, they ain't stop all that.
I know, but
stop all that, bro. Stop all them team meetings, bro. Say, bro, y'all gonna be 6-6, 7-5 at best. Stop them team meetings, bro. Wasting y'all time, bro. Go study, bro.
All right.
Go study, bro.
Man, our team meetings help, bro.
No, you ain't never heard a team meeting that help.
But team meetings help, bro.
Give me the Doug story that a team meeting that help
bro.
that you remember. I ain't never heard a team meeting helping nothing. So they had a team meeting. They had a team meeting last week about the passing game.
Yeah.
We're talking about now team meetings. Team meetings are different from player only.
Player only.
No. That's something about player not team meeting. Player only.
When has a player only meeting ever worked?
Man, player only meeting work, bro.
When? Unless you Draymond and Jordan Poole.
All right.
See?
Good night, everybody.
I'm still mad about that though. Tennessee, 128 in the country. We couldn't score no touchdown.
Yeah, you couldn't score a touchdown because you had the wrong game plan going into the season. It ain't you had the wrong game plan going into the game. They had the wrong game plan from the beginning of the season, man.
I really hope they beat Florida, though.
Shout out to St. Rock, man. St. Rock Crusaders, man, running that Tennessee offense, man. Go back to back in them championships. I see you, Larry, L Boogie.
Man, go Tigers, man.
No, they really run Tennessee offense.
I know.
Ed Nicole runs Tennessee offense.
I've seen it.
Bum, 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 bum.
Oh, yeah. Hey, and also,
Like,
it's great
subscribe,
to be a Florida Gator. I said it's great.
review, leave us a comment.
Man, I know you didn't just come in here talking it's great to be a Florida Gator.
See what I got on?
Hold on.
We'll catch y'all next
You
week.
see what I got on, man? Let's go, Jalou.
Hopefully we have the whole squad next week.
In honor of him also, though, you know.
Shout out to the Master SWAC.
Yeah, man.
SWAC.
Y'all brought y'all sunglasses today, huh?
Yeah, we bought them.
Bought them for nothing.
We bought them for nothing.
Bought them for nothing, man.
I'm gonna save mine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break them out another day.
This wasn't it. There you go with the sunglasses.
Yeah,
Thank y'all for joining us on the Evergreen Pod. This has been another great one.
It's new lives out here.
New lives, man. New lives, bro.
Subscribe.
I like
We
that,
out.
Will. All right. Man.